cuffs are off, man.
Hey everybody, Adam Rank here.
What's up, friends? Daniel Dopp here from the Fantasy Focused Football Podcast over on ESPN.
It's Fabs here, Michael Fabiano from Sports Illustrated.
You know who you can trust if you've got some questions about your fantasy squad?
Want to check out a cool show on YouTube that'll help you get ready for the fantasy football season?
Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network.
Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network. If you are not subscribed, what are you waiting for? You want to lose your league?
Head on over to YouTube. Check out the Get Right Fantasy Network because they're doing everything they can to make you a better fantasy player.
You got to get right with the Get Right Fantasy Network.
So go and roll your sleeves up. Yeah, go and roll your sleeves up. And I'm getting down cause I roll my sleeves up. And I'm getting right cause I roll my sleeves up. And I'm getting down cause I roll my sleeves up. And I'm getting right cause I get.
What up, world? Welcome back to Friday Night Mocks here at the Get Right Fantasy Network. Glad to have everybody on tonight, and especially my wonderful good friend, Kendall.
Hey,
what's going on, brother?
Yeah, you're over there, buddy. How you doing, man? I am great. It was a crazy week, a lot of work. Got a little behind on the fantasy stuff. Felt kind of bad about it, but that's the fun thing about Friday, at least for me in particular. Hope it's this way for some of the audience, but you know, when work is crazy and life is crazy, and occasionally my 3-year-old is driving me up a wall, you got to handle that. But when Friday comes, it's sacred. We're here. I say this all the time, but I've never been more excited. ADP is going crazy. 200 bits of insignificant camp news to overreact. I'm excited. This is when ADP gets real efficient, when we decide if we're going to win or lose leagues. So I'm ready. I'm locked in for tonight. It's gonna be a good one.
I love it. So let's get this thing started. I got everybody in the chat waiting to go.
What's up, Scott?
So
glad to have you here, man.
Let's get this thing started. Give me 1 sec so I can get everything set up on a production level for you guys so that everything looks all nice. And then we're going to get this thing started. All right.
While you're doing that, tonight we are doing one quarterback. We'll go back and forth a little bit between one QB and Superflex. Big difference tonight is we're going back and forth between 3 wide receivers and 2 wide receivers. We're still doing double flex regardless, but going down to 2 wide receivers as this is, you know, just as popular of a redraft format as the 3 wide receivers. So maybe ever so slightly more running back heavy, but we'll have to see.
No, that's okay. So we got Kendall today. He's going to be in the 4-hole, who he just got Bijan at the 104. How you feeling about that?
I'm feeling pretty excellent about it. The kind of the last of a real big tier for me. CeeDee Lamb is in serious consideration for me, as the Dallas defense might be the worst in football or close to it. And so I think CD is rising up my boards, but I still prefer hero running back if possible right now. So
Okay.
Like in that pick, I would really like Gibbs, Bijan, or Barkley or CMC if I can. I still like that group above the top tier wide receivers, especially in 2 wide receiver versus 3. But honestly, the entire first round all feels so good. I think it's not even a big deal until the second half of round 1 for me, I think.
Okay. And like you said, with the Dallas defense currently dealing with, you know, Micah Parsons currently on his particular contract asking for a trade. He's really not happy, and I don't blame him. You know, Jerry Jones speaking bad about you all week. It's kind of one of those things where you just sit there and you want him to just get paid. The guy has been doing his job, doing what he needs to do, and he is getting the shit end of the stick. Doesn't make any sense. So, Jerry, pay the damn man. He needs to be paid. Otherwise, you're going to lose him. I mean, that's really the biggest news, other than, of course, I mean, the biggest news is Terry McLaurin asking for his trade. What's going on there? What do you think is currently going on in this particular situation?
I think it's the agents doing what they got to do. I think that this is clearly a situation we've seen before. I don't want to overreact to it because, like, putting my business cap on, it's just kind of a forced situation. You know, the team is what it is, but if I'm Terry and I'm his agent, you've been really good on an underperforming team. You're kind of asking to backload what would have been, an agreement, a contract, a year or two ago. And the team is trying to make the best decision to keep their window open. We've seen some teams make a bad call. 49ers and Ayuk have regretted it immediately. The DK Metcalf. We've really overpaid for a team that might just forced itself into mediocrity for years. The fans hate the trade. So Cortland Sutton just got paid, which definitely doesn't help the situation.
It did not help the situation.
Yeah, no, it's pretty bad. I still think they get something done. I think more often than not, things get done. But to force the issue, the agents and the lawyers they've got to say the nasty things and do the things. Us as fans and people on this side of the coin, we overreact a little bit because we want to, we have to, it's fun. And honestly, we care a lot about the optics and the way the players are treated. But behind closed doors, right? It's a negotiation. It's millions of dollars.
Oh, yeah.
You're going to do what you got to do. So.
No, it makes sense. We got Aiden in here going, the Cowboys better trade him because we all know damn well if they let him go, he's going to walk in the future. He's going to go to the Eagles. So, I mean, at this point, maybe Eagles like to offer these guys big contracts, and they can. A lot of people want to go play there. They just won a Super Bowl. It's a big deal. Currently, it's pretty crazy to me in general of what's going on there. Terry overall needs to get paid. He is in a situation that just doesn't make any sense. He's on a team with not many other receivers. If they had receivers, like if this was the Bengals, I can completely understand, and why the team isn't willing. Whatever, they have a bunch of people on the offense. They have Deebo Samuel, who's coming off a bad year. They got who else? They got nobody. They have really nobody. Luke
McCaffrey in year 2.
McCaffrey.
Maybe?
I mean, they have nobody. They have nobody that's worth it. Noah Brown.
Okay, hear me out. A team that wants to run the ball, maybe a little 12 personnel. Maybe the senator
finally
hits the field.
Finally getting Ben Sinnott out there. I mean, honestly, I just don't. They have no other options. So at this point, it just doesn't make any sense to me that they aren't willing to pay him at least what Cortland Sutton got paid, if not a little more. So I don't understand it. They are both in the same tier. They're both in the same kind of age range and everything. Give the man his money. He clearly had a wonderful season for you guys last year. Helped you develop your new drafted. You just drafted a number 2 QB that's now actually pretty fucking good. So why not just get the guy and have him available to be able to help him grow? Otherwise, you're not helping your particular QB. It just doesn't make any sense to me that they wouldn't make this type of move in one way or another. So I hope he stays. I really do. I hope he doesn't get traded. All the news I keep hearing, I heard San Francisco, but I think those are people that are just wanting, something there because maybe Ayuk isn't ready, and he isn't. He's probably not going to play a good portion of this season. So I'm really curious to see how this turns out. How do you think this is something that is holding you from drafting him in any type of redraft league or best ball?
No, but I already wasn't drafting him anyways.
Okay.
It's not that I'm fully out on the Commanders. It's just more of a situation that I think Jaden Daniels is good. Mm-hmm. I don't know how elite he is just yet. I mean, he was quite good, but I think people are projecting him to take like an even further step forward. I don't know how realistic that is. I mean, it could. It doesn't have to be, though. I think they'd prefer to run the ball. Okay. I think their defense is pretty strong. I think their division got a little bit weaker. So with all these things, I'm pumping the brakes on Terry McLaurin. I still think even if you looked at how things went down last year, mm-hmm. he performed very good. He's a good player. I just don't think it's the type of offense that's just going to force feed him when there's other options. They can run the ball. The running back room isn't elite, but combined with a rushing quarterback, it's significantly harder to defend. And mm-hmm. It's like Terry should get peppered and hyper targeted because there isn't a lot of folks there, but I don't necessarily trust a passer of Jaden's level right now to hyper target a one that's turning 30 when defenses, if they don't have to respect the Debo threat, I think it makes it a little easier to defend them. So I'm getting all the bells and whistles that it's not a guy that I want to draft. And almost every year we've drafted Terry McLaurin outside of last year. I think he's kind of been a little disappointing. His ADP for me when the season started felt a little elevated for just because of what he did last year. And I think it never properly got adjusted. So I can't take him where his ADP is at. I'm not calling him a bad player. He's kind of on the ADP is a little bit wrong. And I like guys around him a little bit better. That's the nicest way I can say it.
No, I guess that's fair. I mean, right now I'm in that predicament. I'm in the middle of, do I take a Terry McLaurin or a Marvin Harrison Jr.? I mean, I took Marvin Harrison Jr. just because he's safer.
Oh, I would too.
And it just makes more sense to me.
Like, I'll just throw, I mean, I know you're going to pick whoever you're going to pick. I hope this doesn't affect you, but like, I like JSN more than I like Terry by quite a bit, even you could say his quarterback's worse. I just think JSN's more talented at this point at separating. I think Mike Evans is more of a shoe-in to score 10 touchdowns. For sure. That alone, I think I'm Mike Evans over Terry McLaurin. If I was ever going to go early tight end, I think George Kittle might straight up outscore Terry McLaurin. I think Kittle's going to be the number one weapon for their offense, and he's going to smash. Go down a little bit. Davante Adams, I like Puka, but I also like Davante. The quarterback situation, I get it. That's kind of a hesitation, but let's take Stafford out of the equation. I take Davante Adams over Terry McLaurin, and I think
I like Davante.
DJ Moore might be someone that is going to finish around where Terry McLaurin does. So if you put Terry right next to DJ Moore, that I think is fair. Sandwich him right, like put DJ Moore above him, put him below, and right by DK Metcalf. That's the tier for me, is those guys. But I would put Davante and those other guys a full tier ahead of them. And so it's not a big ranking, but it's a good half around for me, and that's just enough. Half around.
So let's play a game that we all love. Who would you rather?
All right. Okay.
You already kind of gave me the breakdown with JSN. You already gave me Mike Evans. You already know about Adams and more. Metcalf's pretty much your guy, the main thing. So do you want Terry or Metcalf?
Metcalf.
Do you want Terry or Cortland Sutton?
Jeez, that's close. That's a stone cold coin flip. I'm going to go Terry there, though.
Okay.
That's where I'm going to go Terry.
Why?
I'm
curious to that. I would have taken Sutton.
I like the weapons. There's two situations here. One, I think Denver is going to run the ball really well. I'm big into RJ Harvey. I think him and Dobbins are going to really work really well. And I think they're just going to have a lot of running back touchdowns. And I don't think their good defense combined with a good running game, I don't think Sutton's going to have to do enough. And I think he's going to disappear like AJ Brown, but way worse. Too many games. And he'll be good when he's good, but inconsistent. I think Terry McLaurin will have a little bit better consistency in the way he's utilized. I said they had a good defense too, and they might not need to utilize him, but I don't think they will be as talented of a team as the Denver Broncos, if I'm being truly honest.
Okay. All right. That's fair. I mean, for me, I feel a little bit of, I saw the connection that Sutton and Bo had last year, and I thought it was incredible the way that they were able to, they were just on a mind meld at times. You could just tell that they had good chemistry with one another, and they seemed to do real well. So I like Sutton a little more. They paid him. They finally gave him an opportunity to, Duarte. I'm sorry, buddy.
Well, that's how McLaurin goes off the board. It says auto pick. I'm tempted to change Duarte's pick. He's back in the chat now. Duarte, help us understand. Were you really going to take McLaurin there, or who would you have taken? Because I kind of want to know.
Yeah, I feel bad because I saw him there and I saw his thing kind of rolling. I hate pulling up when I have to, but always make sure, my friends, those that are watching that are in the draft, make sure you guys are setting those cues because it's very important for any type of reason. Internet always fails in one way or another. So just make sure you guys are filling that queue up. Beyond that, I like Sutton a little bit better. I like his skill set. I like his ability in the red zone. He's just I don't know. He's always been a different guy for me. I've always enjoyed Courtland Sutton a little bit more than McLaurin, but I've always said Terry has a ton of talent. It's just he never had a quarterback to throw the ball. So Jaden now has that ability to, second year, it can only get better. So I'm hoping that works out for them in the long run. But right now, I'm trying to avoid McLaurin if I can. I already picked him in a bunch of leagues because I thought this could get worked out. It's a shame that they haven't been able to just, get money together and figure it out one way or another.
Yeah.
So
you see, I think you guys follow Matt Harmon, Mr. Perception himself. Had a little debate thread on X. I think it might have been yesterday, going over the McLaurin versus Sutton situation. Other people got brought in. It was a big long thread, but
people were really made that the thumbnail instead of Adams.
They were coming at Matt Harmon because he stepped out into traffic, and this is the wide receiver whisperer, a guy I greatly respect, and I go into his research a lot. I think his heuristic, the way he thinks is pretty spot on. In his opinion, he thinks Terry McLaurin is a significantly better talent prospect pretty much his whole career, and I know he looks at this stuff way more than I do. I like to find smart people and use that as part of my process versus doing all the homework because I don't do this full time yet, and I think you got to have those cheat codes. And if he says just hit an entire career of watching him, Terry McLaurin is just the better player, I'm gonna at least take that fairly seriously and say, where am I off? Because Courtland Sutton's always been fun to watch.
Always.
But like even last year, Terry, his advanced analytics were pretty fantastic. And I don't know if I saw that on the field as much because I wasn't watching as many games, but when the analytics say his yards of separation and his ability to win 50-50s, both of those combined were pretty great. So I don't know. Maybe we're sleeping on him. I just don't see Terry McLaurin as a league winner. I'm just going to be honest. Like in that range where he goes, I think. Give me your thoughts on this. DK Metcalf as a league winner, because fantasy doesn't really pay out second and third place. Like it's top heavy, so you need to win your league, not try really hard to get third or fourth and finish in the top half. That's some sports are like that, not ours. That's why I'm more comfortable drafting Tyreek Hill over even like the Marv JSN. I just think if one of those three hits in a league winning fashion, I want to draft a league winning option, even if it's a little less safe, or at least figure it out. And I think DK in particular has more ability to catch 10 touchdowns, more ability to go for 1,500 yards than McLaurin does.
Okay. I mean, that's fair. I mean, for me,
I'd say CalvinRidley over McLaurin. You want to get crazy? Ooh, I would. I
was gonna keep giving you people, but you already kind of right there. I mean, it's Zay Flowers, Rashid Rice, Zay Flowers, Xavier Worthy. I mean, these are the guys I probably wouldn't if he's available. If he was playing, I'm not letting him go. Or I'm gonna probably draft him where he was drafted or a little earlier. If I'm around there. But anyone else that's below that, like Zay Flowers, I don't want anything to do with. I don't want I prefer Xavier Worthy over Flowers, but someone like McLaurin, even in his contract dispute, I mean, we still got another month, so it's early. So this is just a good way to kind of see where he will land. Generally. See, and look at that. Duarte taking advantage of the situation. I love it. Adapting to the situation and getting his quarterback to pair. I like it. I like it a lot. Good for you there, Duarte. I like that pick.
This pick feels gross, by the way.
Right.
I've done so many drafts. This exact spot feels so... I wanted Rome to fall to me so bad. God, this feels gross. I'm going to get sniped if I don't, right? I just have to reach for all of my guys all the time. I'm going to play the ADP game a little bit. I'm going to play it a little bit. I haven't taken a lot of this guy, but I'm starting to rise on the Minnesota offense. Oh, wow. Hertz wasn't even off the board. I honestly, I haven't even looked at quarterback yet. I've just had the flex tab open because I don't take a quarterback before the 14th round. I just decided.
Yeah.
But Hertz at the 6'10 might have been, or at the 6'9 might have been the only pick that felt good.
Right. I mean, I've gotten to the point where in this type of format, so we're like we said before, we're doing one QB. It's one of those scenarios that I pretty much will wait until this or the next 3-4 rounds to pick a quarterback. because it just makes more sense and everybody's available. We're only at QB5 right now. That's not bad for Burrow being QB5 at the, where is this? This is the 612. I mean, that's a really good, pick. All these picks have been great. So now the question is, and I have to ask you, one of your guys that's really, someone that you've been talking up most of the offseason until recent events, Junkins, man, how you feeling about him this year in redraft? If you're drafting today, are you drafting him?
Is he on my draft board? Yes, for sure.
Is he someone you're drafting today?
Yeah, no, I would still draft him.
Even today?
Even today.
Even with him not signing his contract yet?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I still would.
Interesting. Why? I'm now you open the floodgate. I need to know why.
I'm one that plays the waiver wire pretty aggressively. There's a range of picks where I am drafting for a particular range of elite outcomes, and I can mix and match that stable of characters a little bit. He represents some potential upside that's, at a high enough level where I'm still willing to risk it. Let me clarify. He's fallen down my boards enough where someone always takes him before me. If I were to give you a real range, I'll just start scrolling down, like giving you some names. Like right around Garendo has to be off the board before I'll take him, and probably like Dylan Sampson, Nick Chubb, Jerome Ford.
He went in the 7th round.
Yeah, so he's in that case, like I'm just not taking him, right? But for me, he fits the same archetype of like Trey Benson or Quinshon Judkins, Bashal Tutin or Quinshon Judkins. That's where to me they feel like the same type of player. I'm treating him as an upside RB3 in his offense, a rookie RB3 that by week 10 something could maybe be a thing. That's kind of what I'm looking
That's how you're treating him.
That's how I'm treating it, right? If I look at those running backs in that range, I would consider Judkins akin to them, right?
Okay. So you're not drafting him with the sole purpose of him being your RB2.
No, and I wouldn't draft him as my RB3 either.
Okay, I was going to go down that road.
Yeah,
okay, so he's not someone you're relying on.
I need something serviceable. Right? Like here, like Aaron Jones is I actually think he's probably going to get a lot of touches. I like Jordan Mason. Don't get me wrong. I like Mason a lot, but I have to mix in a little bit more Jones just because I haven't had enough. And again, he's my third. I just need a starting running back and a good offense for my RB3. That's all I need. At this point of the draft, now is when I could start maybe looking at him. I'm clearly going to take another wide receiver before, but Judkins, I think right around between like round 10, 11, 12 is probably where I look at for him, if I'm being honest. And most people are taking him before 10.
I should have did something different.
What were you thinking?
That's okay. I'm going to wait for them to go off the board and then I'll talk about it. Because I'm sitting there and I didn't open the tab
I know what you were
should have.
Can I, were you going to go Mahomes Kelsey?
Yeah, that would have been the smart move.
Yeah. What's chat saying about it over here?
Oh, no one's saying anything. Oh, I haven't looked at that yet. Unfortunately, I have one of my windows covering the comments. I apologize for not being as active as normal. Here, let's go into the chat and
we can just go for a couple. I've read most of them.
Well, let's read Aiden's chat because he has an actual question for us right here.
Oh, you put it up.
So Aiden goes, what do y'all make of the Panthers wide receiver room? Do you think that the current wide receivers are value picks at their current ADP, especially Tet and is that Terrace Marshall?
No. Tet hates going by Tet.
Yeah.
Tet wants to be called T-Mac. And so as a fantasy community, we've gotten scolded.
All right, so T-Mac or Renfro.
Yeah. We gotta adapt T-Mac here. I still do it with Njoku. I still say Njoku, and he's clearly said it's Njoku.
Yeah, Njoku, and
I do it all the
time.
Bijan, yeah. To answer your question though, T-Mac I think is a screaming value. Yeah. But I don't think the passing offense is going to be like super prolific. So I don't look at anyone else as like a sleeper, but I do see them as like low key value. Like I actually like some of the players on the team a little bit. I'm probably not going to go Jatavian Sanders. I don't think there's enough there.
Oh,
but
really? I actually do.
I like him in Dynasty. I just think I think specifically there's one player I think that gets in his way, and I think that's Adam Thielen is still just going to eat up all the middle of the field targets and is still a savvier route runner than Jatavian is at this point, even if he's less of an athlete.
Yeah.
And I think that safety valve, it's just not going to leave enough for Jatavian to eat. And there's enough people that like he needs multiple injuries to have like the easy access. So
they used him a lot they used him a lot last year.
Oh, some people fell to me. This never happens. Finally, I get to make a pick that feels good, kind of.
Yeah.
Let me know what you think. I'm gonna make the pick. I just got to check running back to make sure I'm not. But I'm curious what you think about this player. Seems like they're being super slept on. I would flip the pick order a lot if he wasn't getting buried.
See, okay. Let me answer Aiden, then I'll get back to your Jordan Reed or your Jared Reed pick,
please.
So I like the wide receiver room for the Panthers as a whole. I have no problem going in and using them as a value pick. I'm kind of staying away from Coker, not for anything other than the fact that they have so many wide receivers on this team at this point. I mean, T-Mac is at this point probably their lead receiver with Leggett. I don't mind Leggett at his particular price point just because of the fact that, you're getting it at, where is he? I just saw him like 2 seconds ago. You have him at ADP currently at like 180, which isn't like horrible, and it's near the end of your draft. So you can pretty much get him for nothing, and you're going to get some type of value in that particular group. I don't mind Adam Thielen either. Good possession guy, more for full PPR than half. They're definitely going to utilize him more. Maybe if in a league that, third down, if they get a first down or, a third down pass or whatever, maybe I would go with something like that type of league. But otherwise, I don't know who else I like. I pretty much, I like Sanders. I think he's just a bigger wide receiver that they have. And it's someone that Bryce can see him over the heads of everybody.
He really is
else.
Tiny, man.
He's just a tiny dude. So, I mean, I just think he's going to go for the bigger target. Tet's a big target as well. They're going to utilize them a lot more on, as that like big slot guy that they use. So I think Sanders is a lot better than people think he is. He's definitely a late round tight end that I have no problem grabbing if I want to punt on tight end. But at the end of the day, I rather have guys like Kraft who, just went off the board a couple of minutes ago if I'm really punting tight end. But overall,
Kraft is nice, man. Kraft is great.
I think they're going to be okay. I try not to invest too much into it unless, it's absolutely necessary. So John goes, what's the concern level for Mixon? This is a great question.
What do you want to do? Scale of 1 to 10?
I'm going to say a 1 to 10. Yeah.
1 to 10.
1 to 10.
Okay. All right. I'll go. Who do you think's higher on Mixon, me or you, if you had to guess? Like historically and today.
Me.
Probably you.
Probably me.
Yeah. Interesting. My concern level for Mixon is a 7.5.
Oh, that's pretty high.
Yeah. For me. Can I clarify that you can't say just concern level for Mixon if you're not also... I'm not saying Mixon strictly for injury. I have to say I think they could have possibly the worst O-line in the NFL. He was a 5 to 6 before the injury. Let me just be clear.
No, that's fair. Right now, extended time with foot. This was 6 days ago. Frustrated injury. He's been dealing with it since last year. If it's something he's been dealing with since last year, it's concerning. I mean, it's definitely something that he should have had fixed already. Like something should have happened, which could probably mean he's heading for surgery. They picked up Nick Chubb for a reason, ladies and gentlemen. He is a good running back that is coming off an ACL. It's his second year. He could be pretty good, and he's a freaking wonderful value right now. I mean, he's not even off the board, and he's right around this type of spot. I'm not saying I'm going to pick him, but he's definitely somebody on my radar that I want to get later if I'm one of those people that draft an RB late. So for me, I'm not drafting Mixon. I'm staying away from that scenario. I'd rather have the passing game. But the defense is good enough that it makes that offense a little bit more, makes me unsure about what to do with that particular offense in general.
Yeah.
But I think the defense is way better than the offense.
Yeah, it's one of those like.
Otherwise,
it's hard because
it's
not a good enough. It's not a good enough offensive O-line combination where I can grab Mixon and then handcuff with Chubb. Because I like Chubb. I think Chubb could be maybe the better value, but one, it could be a 3-headed monster. They don't hate what's his.
They like Woody Marks.
I thought he. Well, I like Woody Marks too. By the way, Woody Marks is a passing specialist. I don't think he's like Mick. Like the problem for Mixon is that you have a passing down specialist. And you have one of the best between the tackles, never fumbles, great in pass protection, all-time guys, right? That's what's left for you, Mixon. There's not a ton there. So that's my challenge. But because of Marks eating into Chubb and Chubb eating to Marks, I don't love any of it quite that much. So I'm kind of fading the backfield unless it's all a little bit of value. It's not a situation. If anyone, let me answer the question no one's asking, which is, would you take Mixon to then back up with Chubb? And I think it's just a wasted 2 picks. I think there's better. If I had to choose one, I do like Chubb a little bit later. But I have to be honest, I like the player, Nick Chubb, better than I like his situation. And I'm having to do the disciplined thing of I like him so much. I like Josh Downs. He's in an interesting situation, but he's not in a bad situation. I think he is necessary for that offense to do anything. And I drafted 2 players in a bad team because I think they're the 2 players that will make the Colts work. If they have a chance at making it work. I don't necessarily know that the solution is just give Nick Chubb a bunch of touches. Yeah. His yards before contact or whatever, after contact, is not going to be great. Like he's going to get hit before he gets a chance to do anything, and that's going to be tough.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's definitely fair. So let me move on. Rafi's got that's when we were talking about Judkins. Ford has a chance last year and didn't take advantage, so I'm not trusting him. I'd rather draft Judy and Njoku because
that fourth quarter they're gonna be passing as soon as the whistle blows for the start of the third quarter. You got to think they're gonna be a third, fourth quarter passing team, and I totally agree. Njoku is gonna eat. Some of the receivers are going to eat. I mean, that could be a fun passing team.
So, okay. Oh, let's talk about this then.
Yes.
Okay. Because we were talking about this offline at one point. Kendall got a little busy and we didn't get a chance to talk about it. So, how do you feel? Because I keep seeing reports. I keep seeing all these different things. And, one of the things I keep seeing is the concept of Deontay Johnson. Now he's my guy. I've been supporting him from the minute. I wanted to get your take because I had an opportunity. I had to drop him in one of my dynasty leagues to make room for somebody else. I didn't want to, but I did. It was more for a price point. But now with all the stuff that's going on with the run game that we don't see, and then they're possibly going to have to be more of a pass heavy team. Don't you think Deontay would be the next? He's going to be playing the slot a lot more. That's where he thrives. That's where he is. Judy can survive outside, and they have Charles Tillman who can be on the outside as well. Don't you think Deontay is not a horrible option in this offense to pick up as somebody like your last pick?
I think he has the upside to make it certainly worth the last pick. Because at that point, remove the downside argument, and you're like, well, when he's on the field, he's been relatively talented. I've never seen him play so bad. At this point, you're worried about it's one of those, the narrative was so bad across such a period of time
such a bad,
that it feels bad. But I think that's depressed his ADP. There's a range of I don't believe in this guy at all. And I would take a shot on Deontay, who they got to throw the ball 40 times to somebody.
Yeah.
And there's already a hamstring injury to Tillman. And
10 seconds.
Okay, well, let's just stick our stuff with it. Oh my God, am I gonna?
So Rafi goes, no Deontay Johnson. Name one receiver that left Pittsburgh and succeeded. You're not wrong there, Rafi. I get it. I think that Deontay has a chance to do well this season if they can. I think if he gets his mind right, I think it's more his mind than anything. because you could tell that from last year. He was, he had an interview, and basically what he said was, I was cold, I was, tight, and they wanted me to go out, for a play, and I was just like, nah, like that's not how you act. You know what I mean? Like that's not how it goes. And now you're going to a team.
That's how an employee that has no loyalty and the coaching staff has no
100%,
loyalty back. That's
just
a situation. Am I going to I might. Oh, this is crazy. I'm considering taking a quarterback here, but I don't even think I can yet. Honestly, I seriously can't, because the guy I would probably.
I'm just so mad at myself because
you know what?
The thought process I had, it kind of just went out the window when I had Nick sitting there.
Okay, I'm going to do this. I haven't done this yet, but I'm going to take a shot at Kyler. I like Kyler unstacked. I'm only drafting Kyler. I stack less in redraft, in thin benches, in your like, I don't want to say standard, but in like a 5 bench format where I'm going to love my bench. I can't afford to shelf 2 good players at a time often. I actually pay attention to that a decent amount. 6, 7 bench changes it. 5 for me just feels really thin. I like Kyler unstacked because you know what I want him for, right? Yeah. I want to see them rushing. I want to see him finish QB6 or QB7 with a bunch of rushing. Yeah. And I think all it takes is a little Connor injury. So I had to take a peek. I had to take a peek down. My actual thought process was, I do have Kyler above Goff, Herbert, Purdy, Caleb. But honestly, I really like the JJ McCarthy, Drake May type of situation. I since I already take him, I'll just throw it out there right now. I'm pretty in on Jordan Love this year. If I was going to go with a stacked player, I think my spicy take is Jordan Love's top 5 quarterback this year.
Oh,
yeah.
I
think so.
Good luck. I don't believe it.
Tell me, I want to hear your take on why you might be. Give me 2 levels of takes. Can you start with the spiciest, like why I'm super out on him, the thing that you want to vilify him for, and then give me the middle of the road why you're just kind of out.
So there's a couple of reasons. So let me pull up my stuff, because I want my numbers to prove what I'm talking about. Because this makes more sense if I have those numbers. Why aren't we coming up? There we go. So last season, where were they? Packers were, wait, this doesn't make any sense. It just reversed it. It's so dumb. Packers were 2nd in rush rate last year. Okay? 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
They were 31st in pass rate. That's incredible. That is a huge, huge, huge discrepancy when it comes to a offensive play calling. They take in Josh Jacobs. They know that they're going to run the ball. They run the ball like crazy. And it becomes to the point where Jordan becomes kind of irrelevant other than just to distribute and field general like you normally would. They don't have a solid number 1 receiver. Most of their receivers are pretty much wide receiver 2s on most teams. They aren't anybody special. I honestly, you can try to sell me on Jaden Reed. I'm not buying it. It's not there. He had 1 decent game last season, and that was it. He did not produce the way that his ADP does not show what his particular level at all. I just don't believe in it. I have no way to. There's no reason why I would want to. Have that type of pick on him. I'm sorry, it's just not happening.
Okay. Let me.
Hold on, I'm not done yet.
Okay. I was gonna say, make your pick. You seem like you. Oh man, I like those picks. Those are nice.
So my whole point there is that I don't want anything to do with a team that their pass rates in 32 overall or 31 overall from last year. I don't care that you went and drafted 2 wide receivers in the draft and try to, solidify a wide receiver in one way or another. The reason why they drafted 2 wide receivers is because they had no solid number 1 receiver. Watson is done. Not even worth your time.
Agreed.
Wicks is a solid receiver, but he's not a number 1 anywhere. He's just a really good boom bust guy that can happen once in a while. Jaden Reed is a gadget player. And the best player on their team is somebody that is probably going to go undrafted in this particular thing, maybe, based on if I'm the one that picks him last. So, and that's Romeo Doubs. He is their best wide receiver. And I don't care about Golden. Like, bring Golden in, that's great, but he's proven nothing to me in any way, shape, or form to kind of to convince me that he's worth this bump in what people think that Jordan Love is going to do. I mean, what did he finish last year?
It was not good, whatever.
He was QB. Yeah, well, I want to.
You got to look at PPG because he missed a couple games, right? So looking at his regular ranking,
even if he missed a couple of days, I don't care about that. I want to know. I want to know his general. What was his finish? He was like 10, right? QB 10, QB 12, something like that. Hold on, I'm getting stats. I'm getting stats from last year. Give me one sec. So he was. Oh no, he was even worse. QB 17. QB 17. So even with QB 17, he put up 25 touchdowns. He just was a shy under 3,400 yards and 11 interceptions. That's not, you can't survive with that and be successful, especially at QB. His rushing is never going to be above the 100 mark. He's not a big rusher, as we've seen. He's just not anybody that's like, he's definitely not a sexy pick. He's not a pick that I want in one way or another. I want a guy that is like, I wanted like the guy I got, like Bo Nix, a guy that has an offensive team that is able to run when needed and is able to solidify that with high passing numbers with a good offensive passing team. Jordan Love isn't that. He's on a low pass rate team that runs the ball, and the offense is relied upon by the guy behind him, not him. So I don't want anything to do with him.
Can I try and
you can try, but it ain't gonna work.
I think I got a pretty good argument though.
All right.
It's got some, let me just put it out there. It's got
Chat,
some.
Let us know what you're thinking in there.
Yeah, all right. Yeah, the Vike's already getting spicy. I mean, honestly, Vike, I gotta be honest, I don't necessarily disagree with you. I'm curious to honestly break it down with those thoughts in mind as well, because I don't think you're wrong, to be honest. I got to look at it a little bit more closely. I'm already queued up. I know what I'm going to do. Okay, so here's the Jordan Love take. It's a little bit of best ball. It's a little bit of Ricky Bobby first or last. I'm betting on a range of outcomes that has a lot of ceiling that I think is being slept on for a couple of reasons. Let me dive into those reasons here. Okay. I was like, I'm trying to make this pick super fast. So I
talked real long. You have the floor.
It's pretty succinct though, because this is less of a player take and more of a look at situations can change. Okay. I don't have all the stats in front of me. Terrible analyst with no notes, but hear me out. And everyone else.
I'll correct you if you're wrong.
If you look at like the last like 10, 15 seasons. Okay. Anytime a player has had as many rushing touches, I think what is the number? It's like 280 or 300. There's some particular number where anyone that's approaching this stupid high number of rushing touches on average, the fantasy footballers came out with a stat, and I think Andy brought this out as his anti Derrick Henry take. Actually, I think Mason Dodd, actually from the Flock Fantasy, is bringing up the same takes as well. So multiple people are into this, and I love both those guys. It's this: whenever you rush for about 300 touches or so, the following year on average, your touches go down by 46 on average. So they just go down. If you have crazy, and the amount of times that a player after like 300 touches plays a full season is microscopic. It doesn't happen.
Oh yeah. No,
also,
I've heard that take
this
in the
is
past. Yeah.
So let me combine a couple angles into just one big like a what do they call it? A preponderance of evidence that points towards a ceiling outcome, but it's risky. Just know that this whole thing is based on embracing risk to take a late QB that could finish very high, but it doesn't have to happen that way. But what else are you doing? This is the choice of, do you want a guy who could finish top 5 or a guy that could like outperform his ADP and finish like top 10 when you drafted him outside of the top 12? That's too thin for me to win a title. So here's what I'm looking at. Okay. One, when you throw the ball, what does that play look like? Tucker Craft has a lot more yards after the catch than I think anyone expected. The
Agreed.
dude can run.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
We've got two very talented deep threats. We've got Jaden Reed, and now we've got Golden there. So when we choose to throw the ball, what's the ADOT going to be? I think it's going to be deep. I think it's going to be plus 10 for sure. I think that could be a team that not leads the league, but I think top 5 in ADOT, top 5 in deep throws. He likes to sling it. He just doesn't throw it often, to your point, right? It's a low volume, right? But look at the Rams. We wanted Matt Stafford to work, but he never threw any touchdowns because they just ran it in and ran it in and ran it in. He threw just none of the targets were valuable. He created a bunch of PPR machines, but guess who doesn't get any points for throwing a short pass? Is quarterbacks. So you need your quarterback to throw deep when they decide to throw it. I like that the chances that he throws a touchdown to Kraft breaking loose, or Jaden Reed on a deep route, or Golden on a deep route. He's got 3 guys that can catch a deep touchdown. 3. Most teams don't even have 1. They got half of 1. So the amount of, and last season, it just didn't connect a lot. And why would they throw it deep if the games were close and the rushing game was really just unbreakable? They didn't go as far as they wanted to, though, right? Running the ball, they had a pretty good offense last year, generally, I think you'd say, right? And the running game was killing it, right?
Well, yeah.
They didn't stand a chance against the good teams because their passing game wasn't good enough to come from behind in any game ever, right? So is the NFC North better or worse on offense? Unanimously, it's better. The Bears were atrocious, and now people think they could be a lot better, right? Detroit, always going to have a pretty good offense with the weapons over there, despite what they have going on, right? The Vikings, is anyone predicting the Vikings to have a bad offense? I don't think so. I think we have a coach that likes to throw the ball and a lot of weapons, a healthier Hawkinson. I mean, that sounds like it could be pretty good, right? So my point is, how often are they going to be able to get away with just running the shit out of the ball? They might not be able to get away with it as much as I think they'd like to. What am I going to do for a last pick here, by the way? Let's do something.
See, the crazy part, his ADOT is actually higher than most that you would think ADOT was. And he, I would think that, honestly, I think the ADOT for him is that's funny. So buy and sell you is telling me about my three-man stack.
I was reading that.
I didn't realize it until I did it, but I was like, you know what? I like it because.
Yeah, you got Chad. You know how hard it is to give like really trying to give you a good take and also remember what your plan is.
We're interacting. Yeah. Oh no, honestly, I don't even try to snipe people as much as people think I might. I just end up picking a guy that people want. No, there was just I wanted to see how that all worked out. The fact you all let Justin Herbert fall to the last round is absolutely absurd.
Look at the entire last round, though. Like, you can't take an early quarterback. You just look at this last round.
But that's my whole point. It's absolutely absurd. I just took Justin Herbert to just prove a point. Honestly, I was gonna take I was thinking of taking Penix there because I wanted Penix to just stack up with freaking London at the top, but I'm like, why do it when I have Justin Herbert sitting here and I can just I'm just so happy that he fell. Why are people letting this happen?
It's not a people letting it happen, though. I think it's one of those people have done enough drafts with us to know it's unavoidable. This is how it's going to be. So it's actually better to let, if 6 good quarterbacks are late, it's fair because it's 6 of them. If you let 1 or 2 go late, you're giving 1 or 2 teams too much of an edge, right? So it's like, better if we all jump in on the same game plan. It actually converges our teams a little bit. And if everyone is doing the late QB thing, like the crazy thing is this year could be decided by like, did you take one of the top 3 quarterbacks or did you do like the 14th round late thing?
Oh, 100%.
And if the top 3 guys just massively smash it so hard, it is going to make it a little bit harder for us to catch up. We might have the best benches in the league, but we'll see.
Fun one. This is going to be a fun one for you to analyze at the very end.
It might be. It might be. All right. So closing thoughts. I got to close my little Jordan Love thing here because
go for it.
Late quarterback is a thing this year. He's one of them that I'm targeting.
And
when I can.
To be fair, he was one of those late round.
He was one of the late, and he's basically free. He has legs too. Don't forget, Purdy's points per game is massively elevated by having some legs. Yeah, Jordan Love can rush the ball.
Hold on. Okay, so what did he rush last year? Was it more or less than?
Here's the thing: if you're
yards?
just saying last year, though,
he
was injured last year. He was injured.
Even if he was
literally
injured.
got injured. Okay, Kyler Murray. Give me Kyler Murray's rushing last year. Because you think he's going to rush a lot this year, right? Kyler was terrible at rushing last year, and we're drafting him because he'll rush this year.
Hold on.
His rushing stats were abysmal last year, but it made sense. I'm just saying.
What's his highest rush? What's his highest rush total that he has had in the NFL?
You're looking at it the wrong way. It's not rushing total. It's rushing touchdowns.
Understood. Then let's throw that out there. Most yardage and what is his? Is his yardage above or below 300? Best season ever.
Best season ever? Probably below.
Okay. He's already below 300. That's, to me,
True.
More or less than 3 touchdowns.
Rushing touchdowns?
Correct.
I'd have his over-under pretty much right at maybe 3.5.
Okay. So he had 4. In his his best season, which was 2023, and where he played 17 games. And he played 15 games last year. Let's just be clear. All right. He played 15 games. He missed 2. It's not like he missed the whole season. Even if he were to play the whole season, he still wouldn't have gotten to 247 yards, which was his 1 year that he did. He's not a big rusher. It's better than some. He's better than Goff. He's better than Stafford when it comes to running. That's about it.
Hey, fair play. He's going to rush less than those guys, but you have to admit the combination of the amount of times when he touches the ball, he can throw a deep touchdown in the red zone. He has enough that he can walk into the end zone a couple times. That's why I said it's a risky pick. It's not that he has to do it, but if he was projected to do it, everyone would draft him and there would be no semblance of value, right? The whole point, him versus Justin Fields. Okay, Justin Fields can do all the things, and people are like, oh, what's the upside? The upside is, but what if he's an okay passer? Yeah. I'm saying that Jordan Love is a good passer of the football. He's not bad. His decision-making, when you look at the playoffs and the late run in 2023, it was good. It was like he was playing elite ball. It was very, very nice. It's just a team that decided, hey, we can just run the ball and get to the playoffs. They got to the playoffs, and they were not remotely good enough to beat anybody. And if the offense, they decide, hey, guess what? Everyone's better on offense. The rules favors offense. Are we really trying to win the Super Bowl this year with our running back? Maybe. It didn't work last year. I don't think it's going to work. I think in their heart of hearts, this is the first year they took a wide receiver in the first round in their home draft. If they go and rank 30th in rush rate or 31st, or you know what I mean? First, second, top 5 in rush rate, right? Yeah. If they're top 5 in rush rate and don't pass the ball at all, they're going to lose the fans.
Oh, 100%.
Probably lose the locker room because they'll start becoming the Pittsburgh Steelers overnight, where it's like, guys, we played decent football. We won 12 games. No one ever thought we had a shot in hell at winning. Name a team that's been to the Super Bowl the last couple of years that didn't have an ability to pass the ball at a high level. I don't think Jalen Hurts is an elite passer, but they're the one that's like elite D and Saquon Barkley. Josh Jacobs is not Saquon. You can't just... Derrick Henry, by the way, useless when they're from behind. The reason 100%. I'm not drafting Derrick Henry.
Why do you think I grabbed
useless when they're losing? Completely worthless. So Josh Jacobs is not going to help them win when they're behind by a touchdown. And God forbid they're behind by 10 points. You might as well put him on the bench. You look at your offensive weapons.
See, that's the crazy part about Josh Jacobs. They do use him in the pass game quite often, and he's somebody that they are really excited about using more in the pass game. That's
the take I'm pro Jacobs on, because if the offense is like Jacobs should get more passing work.
He had last season, he was targeted 43 times, caught the ball 36 times, and had 342 and a touchdown.
Well, that season on the Raiders too. His RB,
and that was part of it.
Whatever season was so many catches.
So I can see they're gonna just try to increase it. any chance they get. But I'm telling you, he's just not worth it, in my opinion. I'd rather have if we're at the end of the draft now. We just finished everything, and we have a great question that is kind of right here. Who's the last QB?
Several questions here. Yeah,
you would consider drafting if they were sliding down the board before you would punt the position all the way into the last round. Let's answer that, and then I'm going to give you the answer to that question because I drafted it.
Maybe it's a tough question for me to answer because I feel like no matter what, you're punting the position. Kind of, let me answer it this way. Aiden. For me, it's, and actually, if any of you were in my deep dive last one, I went in for like 40 minutes on this point where I looked at. I'm so late quarterback. I took a real long contemplative look at. Am I blind to the fact that Josh Allen in the 4th round might be a league winner, or Josh Hurts, any of them in the 4th round might be in best ball? Even if you drafted a very value-centric team, just a couple seasons ago, if you didn't draft one of the top quarterbacks, you didn't win. And it didn't matter. That's why in best ball, they were starting to go Hurts and Allen were going in round 2. It's because these were pros that spend $100,000 a year on that, and they were still doing it in round 2 because the idea was you needed a top 3 quarterback to win. It wasn't any other way. So I really looked at it, and I looked at first or last type of quarterback. And then I looked at, there was really like 3 quarterbacks that went in the middle. It was Mahomes, Baker, Nixon. Occasionally Kyler was kind of thrown in there.
Okay.
And for me, I looked at the difference between that range and the Herbert, JJ, Love, Purdy, May, Dak range. And I was like, it's close. It's close to the point where I'm like, I would rather just continue to punt it. So the mid-range stuff is like, the answer I want to give Aiden is, for me, it's probably Mahomes. If you're really asking for what's my mid-rangey quarterback where I would pass up on a decent positional player to take value, it's Mahomes. I got to miss, I took Kyler in 11-4 because I still kind of was punting the position, and I just didn't see enough on. Everybody in the rest of the draft was in a similar tier for me, but Kyler had like, not league winning, but pretty close to it rushing, that I'm like, all right, I'll finally pull the trigger and see how it looks. The fact that Herbert went 14-1 and Kyler went 14-4, and I see them very similarly, except I actually like Herbert a little bit more in some cases, right? Yeah. That's why, Aiden, that's why I'm saying Patrick Mahomes, because I didn't take Kyler because I wanted him there. I took him there because more for an experiment, if I'm being real with you. And I still, having done it, I would have rather waited. And where I took Luther Burden, I probably would have just taken Herbert, and I would have felt fine about it because instead of Murray, I would have already had Wandale. And when I flip those around, that feels better to me. So I think as soon as you hit round 11 or 12, it's all the same for me. I think everything's a similar tier, and you can go quarterback at that point. Also, know this is not going to happen in regular redraft this year. People don't want to get boxed out. Quarterbacks are going to go 2 to 3 rounds up. So I think probably 11 to 12 is where you can punt the position pretty consistently. And if I'm going to go earlier, if I'm going to go 7, 8, 9, I'm going to go Mahomes is my answer.
Okay. I'm just going to go to my draft because that's exactly what happened. Is Bo. Bo is pretty much my my tier. And I did both. But at that point, I had no problem with it. Honestly, like one QB, I don't mind picking up a backup quarterback, especially one that could be my QB1. And I can just interchange when needed. And based on the matchup, I can figure it out. I like Herbert a lot this season. The fact that he fell, what is this? This is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, QB 13, 14 off the board. That's insane to me. That's absolutely absurd. I got him for, to me, I got him for a steal. I'm getting him in best ball in the 5th round. The fact that I got him in regular redraft in the 14th is absolutely absurd.
Chad, I'm curious. Well, Mike's going on this. When you guys do other mocks, and I know you guys are the super mock degens.
A lot of you guys.
We got the regs. What are you guys seeing in your other mocks when you do competitive, maybe a little recreational? You guys are in a lot of different Discords. You guys follow the mock circuit as well as anybody I've ever seen. Is this common? I mean, are you seeing this? I would really love to hear some feedback if you guys see this as regular, or when we do our Get Right Fantasy Network Friday Night Mocks, do you see this group as being the latest of the QB drafters, or is this a little bit of an aberration? I don't have an answer. I would need to ask.
This is incredibly late. I've never seen it for one of our one QBs go this low. I mean, I've seen it go low, but I've never seen it go
Mr. Incognito.
What up, buddy? I haven't seen it go this low, and especially for a guy like Herbert. It's
Herbert. This is the latest I've seen him go.
I've never seen him go this low. Everybody else, I understand in one way or another. I get it, and especially if you're one to punt on the QB. You know, we had Vic go for Dak Prescott late. That's a huge value for him right there. I love the pick. I love that pick for Dak Prescott going late.
I like it too. Yeah.
I mean, the Purdy
you could see Dak being QB 3 or 4 this year.
100%. Because anytime that he's played a full season, he has been. So, and granted, he had Kellen Moore helping him out and all that. But, all the teams that you notice that have gone late QB, Justin Fields with Aaron Richardson. I mean, Personally, I don't like it. It's more, I understand the reasoning for it. It's just one of those things where I do not have the cojones to have Justin Fields and Richardson as my two guys.
That's
I'm sorry.
That's only something that I have the stomach for uniquely.
No, I can't do it. I just can't.
You probably shouldn't do it for your health, man.
For my health, I can't do it because realistically, I just don't feel good. Because anytime I see Fields on his own in any scenario, I get a little nervous. The fact that you added A-Rich there, Lord of Fanta, good for you. You have bigger balls than I do. I can't do that. I just can't. So I give you a ton of credit for that, but it's not a build that I would do. And I understand the mobile quarterback. Believe me, I get it. But there's no guarantee about A-Rich. We don't know who's starting in that particular scenario, Daniel Jones or him. Of course, it's probably going to be A-Rich, but it is what it is. Justin Fields, there's just like Jordan Love, I don't think there's anybody in this world that can sell me on Justin Fields. And the biggest argument that people have is that he has Garrett Wilson. That's it. All they do is go, oh, they played in college. They're going to be so good together. Okay, let's look at everything else. Who's wide receiver 2 for the Jets?
For the Jets?
If you can...
well, I mean, I think it's going to be Mason Taylor.
But, the fact that you don't... See, well, the fact you don't know...
It's going to be Mason Taylor. But
well, no, it's going to be Mason Taylor. But who is their actual wide receiver 2?
Josh... what's his name? He's 30 years old. He's from the Lions.
Yep, you're almost there.
Josh Reynolds is 2.
Yes. Josh Reynolds is number 2. And then they have Corley, who they picked up in the last few years. So they have 3 receivers that are, or two receivers that are And then they have Mason Taylor, who has been killing it in camp. I've been hearing wonderful things, saw a lot of stuff. I think he's going to be a good tight end for that team.
Yeah, I think so too.
But that's it. So you're relying on him strictly for his legs then, right? That's the only argument that you have
in
for
fantasy.
Him.
Yeah, I mean,
Understood,
if you're an NFL team, you're like, I kind of need to see more. But
he is incredibly talented with his legs. He can move. I give him the credit there.
He's got a good deep ball. I don't know how accurate it is, but he can throw it.
He can throw it. But that's the thing. You can't survive off of exactly. He's a much better college QB than he is in NFL one. And the kid has an arm. I've seen it, but it's not accurate. It does no touch on it. He can just throw it deep, like you said, but not that accurately. So he hasn't thrown for, I think it's over 2,500 yards, if I remember correctly, in his lifetime.
Yeah, it's I don't even want to say it. It's not good.
These are These are reminiscent numbers, and like his whole statistical thing is worse than Daniel Jones.
Oh, it absolutely.
I've compared the two. It's scary how much better.
You got to give him a little bit of credit though that the The offensive play calling.
Oh, horrible. Absolutely horrible. You got to watch it for 4 seasons.
Ask because there's a lot of bad teams sometimes that are unwatchable. And I mean, who here used to be a Red Zone fan and is now fully boycotting it? Because
oh my God, did you hear? Oh, so that's another bit of news that no one heard.
Yeah,
NFL Network and Red Zone were bought by ESPN, who are now talking about the concept of putting ads in Red Zone.
It's not just talking, dude. It's already a done deal. Red Zone's dead. R.I.P.
No.
Yeah, it's. Dude,
Scott Hansen's gonna be so mad.
And by the way, dude, I love Scott Hansen. By the way, please, if you guys can we go all show Scott Hansen some amazing love in chat? Can we go tear ESPN down on that? I don't like negative stuff on X, but lots of love towards that man because he's about to go through some stuff.
Oh, he's the man. And to be quite fair, he should just leave.
I don't think he can though. Like
I know.
Yahoo fired all their analysts. AI's taking over all the big brands. He can't leave. He's got a family. He's got to feed.
I know.
He can't quit that job.
Well, I just feel so bad for him because he even said it last year. I remember him saying it last year. I remember him like they added a line to it, and he was just like, like I don't feel comfortable saying this. And I remember him talking about that aspect of it.
I so love him for it. Like he physically, like if he has to do something the fans won't want, he can't physically bring himself to do it. But hey, you want to lightning round a couple little chat. I feel bad. We got into good conversations. I feel like we ignored a couple folks here. We could lightning round things.
Oh, okay.
Real quick. Mike, throw it over to you. A lightning round. Do you think would you have done a similar pick? What if you weren't going Mahomes? Do you think there's equal value there? Just taking a quick peek. Don't look at the team. Just at that range of player. What were 2 to 3 other considerations besides Mahomes? And do you ultimately land on Mahomes if you don't have the QB yet? And it's a worthy stack.
My one regret was Tracy Ingram. I love the 2 players, but I had the ability to stack it with Kelsey. And I could have done Kelsey and then Mahomes and felt a little bit better, and then I wouldn't have to worry about anything else for the rest. But I would have ended up picking up Herbert at the end anyway because he would have been there. So I'm fine with it. It's really crazy that I went that, I don't normally go that late. I was just shocked that they all fell. So I was like, I'm going to wait.
Yeah, Perk, given your exact build, wide receiver heavy, I don't like the running backs as a crazy tier break. They're enough to know there's not a range in the next round. I do think Mahomes, like the only thing for me is Loveland, I think will be less startable than you want to start the season. He's more of a developmental, like he's great, but I think he could cost you in weeks 1 through 4 or so. So I do think there's a tier break. Like I love Njoku. I love Kraft. I love Loveland in Dynasty. But, would I rather have Mahomes Loveland or would I rather have Njoku Kraft or Mayfield Nix? Something along those lines. It's honestly close for me, but I think you went through the upside play. You have Worthy, and I think you were probably hoping to wheel a different tight end and took what you needed to, right? It's the better upside play, and I think the better upside play is usually it depends on your league. If you're in an ultra competitive league, you need to play for upside because playing good isn't going to win you the league when you're playing with everyone's really good here. That's the play that I think wins you the most league first places is that pick. So in my opinion, I don't think you had many other good options.
No.
And the other option still leaves you fairly neutral. So yeah, I liked it.
And honestly, I like the team all the way up until Loveland. I love everything else.
Yeah, and for that age, like with Loveland too, I would have loved to seen a second tight end in case you need something quickly.
Completely
Grabbing now, where would you have been able to do it? Like Benson at 11-6 feels like a good pick, and then Smith and Fergie went off the board, and that feels a little bit rough. I probably would have reached. I would have grabbed Strange at 13-6 for sure, and I would have considered him at 12-7 just to lock something in a little bit. And I would have wanted Ferguson at 12-7 and been super pissed. He went off the board, but hey, I said lightning round a little bit. Vike, throwing some darts, but honestly, I like it. This is what I actually like comments like this because I really want to look at the draft board and see, hey, from a 10,000 foot view, did this build at the ranges and at the 104 at this range? I want to break it down.
I would have went Jacobs over Taylor.
Well, he's saying RB was the mistake there. So regardless of who you put there, I'd have to look at this. I think of like we'll tear apart this in Fantasy After Dark here, and we'll kind of go into that a little bit. If anything, at the JT pick, I definitely considered what you were saying already because I want to go Hero RB versus Double Elite. But I figured we're going 2 wides instead of 3. And in this format, I wanted to push the Double Elite just to see how it felt. And we'll kind of get into that. So you might have a point. I don't hate it as much, but it also... Normally, I don't take Kittle at 4.9, but Kittle at 4.9 feels like a stupid value. And I think the real issue was Tyreek at 3.4 plus DK at 5.4 doesn't feel good. But it's a Ricky Bobby first or last build. If it hits, you're in trouble. You got to admit, if it hits the way it could hit, you're in a lot of trouble. But if it doesn't hit, even one of the pieces doesn't hit, I need to have really nailed my my upside bench because I might need them. So we could go back and forth on that a little bit. We'll have to look at it. Mike, what's your take? So I kind of went into the guys that have 300 plus touches. They go down by like 46. They're not healthy. It just doesn't happen. I think the idea here is if the Barkley touches go down, offense has to go somewhere. And so some people are looking at AJB. Buy or sell this premise, or are you thinking a different take?
For me, the Eagles' offense is hard to gauge if you're viewing it that particular way. This will mean that they want him to throw more, and I mean he didn't throw for 3,000 yards last year. He threw for 20. Yeah, I mean he threw for 2,900, but. He only his rushing upside with the touchdowns are what makes Jalen Hurts who he is. Let's just take away half of that. He's nowhere near what he should be, and then that will also affect a lot of what their offense is as a whole. If you're not getting the 3,000 or more yards when you're throwing the ball, it makes things very difficult to be in that top 10, conversation for Hurts and AJ Brown. AJ Brown had a really, really rough end of the year, finishing wide receiver 17. I mean, if you look at his game logs, everything he was kind of volatile. He had once he came back from the bye after week 1, after he was out 2, 3, and 4, and then he came back in week 6, he didn't put up a game more than 17. Which is not like him. And he had a couple games below 7. That's not that's not a player that I want in my group in any way, shape, or form. I like consistency. I like a guy that's able to produce on a weekly basis above a certain amount of time. And if you're drafting him in the second round, I don't feel comfortable with that. I'd rather take somebody else. And especially in that range, you can go with the Garrett Wilson if you want. You can go with Tyreek Hill. They're all pretty much the same player in that case. So I don't know. I'm just not a big fan of AJ Brown as a whole moving forward. In general, especially with Saquon there. I think Saquon is the focus of the offense, not him.
Mm-hmm. AJ Brown's a tough one for me. Let me just dynasty takes always live rent free in your head. I was so in on AJ Brown as a draft prospect. He was the guy that when no one else was like, I was so in on him when he wasn't a thing. And then as soon as everyone made him like a top 18 pick, that's when I was out just because I never thought he was in an offensive ecosystem that would consistently maintain that. I never thought he was the type of player that was just going to like dominate. And then, I don't know. Maybe it could be a thing. I think he's a little more best ball for me. I would take him more in best ball. Yeah. I got a love for a Devontae. At the 2.
But I'd rather take Devontae at the cheaper price.
I just don't think the offense needs him.
Yeah, he fell at the 5.10. I'd rather have the 5.10 than the 2.1.
I think there's a really good chance that Saquon has closer to 300 touches than 400 touches. But I like Will Shipley, man, and AJ Dillon and those quads maybe coming back with a real O-line.
I don't think they're going to do that, though.
I mean, maybe they spread it around a little bit. So, I mean, maybe not. I see a lot of ranges outcomes where A.J. Brown doesn't have to inherit all the work that everyone else inherited.
I think they're going to – I don't think he's the main focus like he used to be prior to Saquon coming in. when Saquon was there, or when Saquon wasn't there, he was the focus because he was their best player. They molded the offense to him.
And their secondary had issues, and they solved that super quick.
But that's the whole
yeah.
point. They got to a point where they don't need him anymore. And is he a really good wide receiver? Of course he is. It's just Jalen Hurts isn't as good as a quarterback as people think he is. He's only good in fantasy because of his rushing touchdown upside and the fact that he had 14 touchdowns and has had double-digit touchdowns for the last 3 years because of the tush push.
I'll say it right, like Tua is a way better throw of the football than Jalen Hurts. They
100%
skill sets.
Just yeah, one can run, one can't, and even when he runs, I mean, it is what it is. I'm all I'm trying to say is I'm kind of out on AJ Brown.
I don't know. Yeah. By the way, if we're in on Hurts, I don't know, man. Is Justin Fields cheaper Hurts?
Yeah,
he's got a good deep ball. He's got good wide receivers. Just throwing it out there.
Lightning round though. Jalen Hurts and Fields are pretty much the same person, but Fields is on a better team.
Oh, someone
not
flip
Fields.
that. You guys should be drafting. Vince, Mr. Legend. This was just interesting. So not that common in our question of how does other mocks go. We know, I mean, Vince hosts a bunch. He does a lot of stuff. So apparently our drafters are just better than everyone else, and they have the confidence that everyone knows we're going to be a hyper competitive late QB draft. So it might just be us, but that's good to know. So everyone drafting with us, just know the lower the buy-in, the more we're in some fun leagues here and there, but some of them are what I'd say semi-competitive, where folks are trying hard, but they're not putting the time and hours in like everyone here might be. Okay. In that case, just know the quarterbacks are going to go up. So if you're using these drafts as super good practice, just mentally prepare. Do some of the stuff like I'm doing with Kyler. Just feel it out, figure out the ranges of players and where you might need to take them, and just ask yourself, hey, if the range was different, what would I do? I'm prepping on needing this whole quarterback range in competitive, but not like this drafts. Mm-hmm. They're going to go up, I think, about at least 2 rounds probably. So grain of salt, we'll see how accurate it is. I love after some things we have going on in the next couple of weeks, we'll see ADP get a little.
And I'm hoping to get a little more, a little more variety in these particular mocks too, to kind of get an idea, because we all know each other. We all have an idea.
Well, we get some Superflex going too. That's going to throw that right out the window too.
100%.
I'm liking Superflex this year because of how, I don't want to say stale one QB is, but the late QB is so good this year, in my opinion, that Superflex is the more interesting.
All my friends want to do a Superflex now.
From a draft perspective, like Superflex and figuring out your QB2 and how you do QB3, I think is a more interesting concept this year. But
for sure.
Philadelphia, aka going undercover as Zion Penumbra. I'm with you, man. Honestly, I brought this up real quick just to say, I do think that this is probably the year where folks just stop tuning into all the on TV stuff, and I think the fantasy community is killing it. There's so many shows that I enjoy for different reasons right now. So yeah, I'm so glad that you guys are here watching our show, but there are some truly good shows out there that you can watch in addition to. And I feel like combined 3, 4, 5 of your favorite fantasy analysts and using that as your go-to, I don't even think anyone needs ESPN anymore. And I hate to say that because, I hate that it's happened that way, and yes.
100%.
Right? Just completely
100%.
Perk did get sniped on Kraft. That was the plan. I like going for it. You get Mahomes, wheel Kraft, whole different story. You got to go for it. Absolutely got to go for it. So, and looks like Vince had my back on the RB start. Classic. We'll have to talk about that at some point. I don't think we have time today, unfortunately, but because I know you're classic Mike for a reason.
Yeah.
Mr. Standard himself. You love yourself some RBs, so.
Oh, I've always been a fan of the strong RB build in one way or another. I didn't do it this time because I kind of wanted to see what I could do with it. But none of my teams that I have currently have the 12. I have the 5 and a few others. So I'm still getting used to it. And of course, let's not listen to Zion. He's just. Philadelphia is just note we have a segment on the NFCs, and I would be roasting the Giants for gifting us part. Hey, all good, brother. You guys, can have them. No, I'm kidding. I would.
Mike, I gotta tell you, dude, I'm rising on Russell Wilson with your.
Oh, you should be.
Your offense doesn't have to suck, man.
Oh,
you know I'm a Wandale guy. You know that. We are Wandale people.
Yeah.
I was the first. I have to be. Name one other person that was willing to trade 3 for first-round picks for Neighbors before I did. Yeah, I don't think there's a single person.
Still, I am bullish on our offense, but granted, I try my best to pull myself back a little bit because I am a Giants fan. I don't want,
you get a little excited when you come back.
I'm a little excited, but I haven't been the last few years. Last few years, I have just kind of sat back and kind of, they're okay.
It's a healthier place to be than we're
excited. I'm just excited because we have a lot of intrigue this year with what's going on. I love what they did with bringing in Russ at this point. Would I have liked Rodgers? Probably not. I just don't want the dramas. I like Rodgers as a person. After I watched his whole documentary, I learned a little more about him and understood who he was. So I get it. But Russ, I think, is a better fit overall. I think he can do what we need him to do with all the key pieces that we have in place. And I think our offensive line is better than what people think. I think if Evan Neal can continue to do well in camp and, he's a big dude. He's a real big guy. And he's like that. He's not Becton size, but he's a big-ish dude to play guard. And I think if he can get that particular position, if he can win that position, I think that line is going to be better than what people think. And we're just going to have to do real well, this year. And our defense looks, like a monster. I can't wait for that. So I'm optimistic. I'm hopefully optimistic, but at the end of the day, we'll see. I'm just hoping to get, I'm hoping we go at least 8 and 9, at the very end of the day.
Hey man, we'll have to see.
All right, pick better. I'm calling it Justin Herbert. Done. Pick of the draft.
Okay.
I'm
gonna say I don't actually think we can pick a quarterback. I'm gonna pick.
Oh,
I might need you to
on.
grab a non-QB only because in one QB,
come on,
I think they're all steals at QB. So it's like it's hard to,
know.
If Herbert at 14-1 is good, you gotta think Drake May at 14-8 is great too. But it's all too good. It's hard to pick out one. Okay, we'll split it up. QB steal of the draft, 14-1. I think it has to be 2 separate questions because it will be a thing.
It has to be Herbert.
Yeah, I would give you that.
I'm sorry.
For sure.
It has to be. If we're going to go for player, though,
I got to look a little bit here.
I'm looking at the board. I want to say my Waddle because I got him in the 6th round, which I'm really surprised that he even was there. Your down.
Yeah, I got mine.
Dad.
I got mine.
Trey Harris late. I like that one too. Mooney, Pittman.
You can pick one early, one late. That way, you can split it up. You can pick one.
I mean, there's no real early pick that I can find on this board.
Because an early round pick, there's less spots. It is early, but I think it's pretty good. I've certainly got mine though.
Okay, go for it.
Rafi, I'll throw that's an honorable mention to me at this point.
Yeah, Craig did good with that pick.
That's my favorite pick after round 7, actually, is Egbuka. And I got massively sniped on that when I was absolutely taking him at 9-4. That was the whole plan. I took Reed thinking I could wheel him, and it just didn't happen. So that's a little unfortunate. Calvin Ridley at 6-4 is nuts. I think that is a smash. I think he belongs entirely in at least the mid, Ridley or Flowers is close. Ridley or DK is close. Ridley and Sutton is close. I have Ridley just straight up over Rice. So we got a full round to a round and a half of value. It's like he got to he ended up. It's funny because I have Ridley above Williams.
Okay,
but he got to do them both, which is just such a steal. So nasty. Ridley for the full round of value is probably my favorite.
Okay, no, I like it. I like it a lot.
Might give some honorable mention to my own pick, by the way. Kittle at 9 is pretty close.
No, Kittle was a big one, but it's hard with tight end. You can't really. I would probably Hawkinson at 7-7 is more my speed when it comes to this. Things like that.
Egbuka is so sick, man. Egbuka might outscore Ridley.
He might.
Egbuka is going to be so damn good. He really is.
So I wanted to answer this. So Perk goes Trey Harris overrated, wide receiver 2s and Greg Roman's offense. Yuck. I don't blame you. I just love the talent. And I think that the talent can outweigh that. And I think Justin Herbert could understand the best player on the field for them other than Ladd. Harris can definitely get open. And I think he's a better separator than Johnston. Better hands, of course. And so it's one of it's one of those things.
You think?
I have to think, and I don't mind taking a late flyer on him in redraft. I want him everywhere I can in best ball or in best ball and in dynasty. He is somebody that I just enjoy on my team. I think he can do well moving forward. I think they will realize the talent that they have. Like I said, the only thing that scares me a little bit is the news with Keenan Allen. I stupidly read a thing prior to this that he was already on the team, but apparently they are looking into him. He was just there recently.
I think it's going to happen.
I think it's going to happen too. And I kind of hope it does because he would be a good part of it. But that move in redraft would unfortunately make him useless. Just because Keenan is Keenan. I mean, he will jump Harris, but that makes it where I want to buy him. I want to buy him everywhere because the dip will happen. Because you will see the dip when Keenan Allen signs, and that's when I want to buy. And especially in Dynasty, just because the price for him currently is insane. You're paying at least a second rounder. So if I can get something, a late second, early third for Trey Harris, I'm taking it. Like I'm buying him. Hopefully, if the guy's willing to, do that.
We'll have to see. Maybe I don't have that many shares of Harris only because I was just so RB centric. But
yeah,
I think it's unfortunate. I like him in Dynasty because I like investing in offenses that I think will be good in large windows, and I think they're going to be good for a while. I think they're leaving their period of
they have the next 3-4
issues.
Years.
Yeah, I'm kind of similar, and I think I want to take shots on. I want to say I don't really know how it's going to shake out, but I want to take a shot that it could shake out in his favor in a reasonable scenario.
100%.
I don't love him for redraft. It feels like it's a worse situation than like Luther Burden and the Bears, where it's just like, man, how does this go down? But we'll see. Trey Harris is the first of his type. The late breakout, large body. He has a bad pedigree. That's what scares me. Is my draft analyst comp hat on says his profile just doesn't work in the NFL.
6'3", 210 doesn't work for you? I'm sorry.
Well, he was 6'3", 210 as a junior too, and he did nothing. Right? He only did it his senior year. So it's more the production profile, not the physical profile.
Yeah, fair enough.
But at the same time, if I'm going to use that also means I have to be out on Isaac Tesla too, right? Because he did nothing in college outside of being physically gifted.
Hey, I have like 3 or 4 other guys that didn't get drafted that I would love to have on my team in one way or another. And I love the Larry Fitzgerald pick, by the way, for the last pick of the draft.
Yeah, I was going to say that's underrated, but Rafi's got a sick point here. That was probably that would be my honorable mention for the first half of the draft. Was the first player I looked at.
Yeah,
because he does typically go in the third, and I looked at like him in the fourth feels like a steal. Him after Evans and JSN because I like Adams above JSN. Evans with the injury stuff. Actually,
I might have been better off going Adams where I went Hubbard and then going with Swift and then Caleb Johnson at the turn at 6, and I would have liked that a little bit better. So that's my one take that I've seen. But yeah, I do agree. Having him fall to that is pretty good overall. Pick goes, I'd love to come on the show sometime with Mike. Also, there's to have fun with you both. Of course, we got to set that up at one point. We have plenty of time.
We will have to do that. He was him and Phil had a good time going take for take on a couple things, and it was good to have a little fantasy court. I love that as well. It was nice.
Rafi goes for QB. He thinks that Dak is a much bigger steal than Herbert. I don't disagree, in some ways, but I like Herbert's. I like Herbert a little bit better. I don't trust Schottenheimer, so. I'd rather go with Greg Roman, but that's just my own opinion.
I guess my take is I think Prescott probably has a more consistent ceiling case than Herbert because the team might be so good elsewhere that Herbert never needs to go crazy, where Dak might be like Dak could play the Jameis role, but way better than Jameis because the defense is so crazy and they have the offense to sling it. Like, could Dak be this year's Baker, but better? Yeah, probably. Like, if you want to say like Dak versus Baker, who typically slings the rock a ton with weapons? Baker's that guy right now, but it used to be Dak.
True.
And if Baker's going 9-10 and Dak's going 12-4, I mean, there's not a crazy difference between their abundance of offensive weapons. Yeah. We like Dak. I think the whole point is we were all talking about Dak. We're sleeping on Dak.
No, I like it.
That offense could be fun. Maybe that's what we'll be talking about the Cowboys. The Cowboys will lose a bunch of what the Cowboys are going to be the new Falcons.
Well,
all the games are going to be 40-35, and they're going to lose in the fourth quarter. But that's going to be great for fantasy.
The crazy part. I mean, they just signed Lowell Collins back, and they just they're having brutal injuries on their O-line. I think Tyler Smith got hurt, and somebody else got hurt. So they're having a rough time on their offensive line right now. I'm a little nervous for them in general. I mean, their line has been beat up the last few years, and it just hasn't been the same. So we'll see how that ends up. So we're going to wrap things up here. Kendall is going to, join you guys. Well, he's going to have you guys over on his After Dark show. Quickly, we're going to just do some quick little news for you guys in the coming weeks.
Oh, yeah.
So
we got a little bit of news, maybe. Yeah, we got a little bit of news. So first year I'll be giving this news, but I think many of you that were with the Get Right Fantasy Network well before I was here know what they're famous for, and that's that mock draft tournament, baby. And we're back. It's back. The 4th annual mock draft tournament. It's back. I'm a week behind. I'll be honest with you guys. Work-life balance is real. I always prioritize my wife and kids, but I'm thinking of you the whole time. I love you. And my wife will tell you. She knows because I just talk about what we have going on to her all the time. So it was, I was trying to start it a week early, had some things. So we're going to compress it a little bit, but that's officially going on next week. That's happening. So I'm going to be all over the Discord this weekend, trying to do the postings, doing the thing. But for those that don't know, this is a super fun time. It's cool. It's literally mock drafts every single night outside of Saturday and Sunday for the next month, literally up until football starts, essentially, right? This is Monday through Friday. Every single day outside of the weekends, we're going to be having a mock draft. There's going to be 1 week we're doubling up. Not next week, but the week after. There's going to be 2 mocks to make up for my my little bit of tardiness. So just so you guys get a real quick rundown, you can also ask folks in the Discord, and they'll be happy to tell you as well. Some of them competed. I'm sure we got some folks in there that have gone pretty deep for sure.
Rafi's in here already.
Former champ over here. Yep. So here's what we got going on. It is going to be, it's a little bit of a tournament format. So think of it 3 weeks. Pretend it's 4. One of the weeks is supposed to be 2 weeks. We're just going to compress it, okay? But normally we do a mock on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. The folks that get right, we vote. We look at the mocks. We vote for our rankings. We vote 1 through 6, and then we take a weighted average of who finished in our top 3 every single mock. Monday, Tuesday, Friday. Top 3 go on to basically a final on Friday, a mock of finalists from the week. The top 3 from that final get added to the top 3 from the next week's final and the next week's and the next week's. And that ends up to a 12-team final that we put into a real best ball league with a real draft. And they're going to go ahead and compete for the bragging rights with some additional prizes. And I'm actually upping that a little bit too. But the prizes are nice and whatnot. But I mean, let's be real. It's the bragging rights. It's the, I drafted with the absolute nuts drafters, and I came out on top of all of them after the gauntlet. So we're drafting Monday through Thursday. The winners move on to Friday. The Friday winners, top 3 is winner, moves on to the final. So get in the Discord if you're not, because we're not going to post it. Well, we're going to post it wherever we can, but the Discord is kind of where we live.
Link is in the description for those that are new to the show or just tuning in or watching now. Make sure if you're not already in there, be in there. We are going to post them only to there, and then we will post for ones that we need to fill. We might do on X, so keep a lookout on those. Also, just a quick little thing. And Philly Mike go for it. Ask your question.
Yeah, we'll answer questions too, and I'm going to be on forever asking all the questions.
He's going to be
I might
on
even
next.
go into the mocks. Some of these Fridays, by the way, coming up pretty soon, I might bring up some of the draft boards because I still have them from last year. Maybe we'll explore them a little bit, have some fun. But yeah, ask questions away.
A little disclaimer for this particular tournament: this is all subjective. This is our thought process when we are doing it. Everyone is different in how we think and how we build a certain team. I understand people might have a way about certain things where they're going to see it and they're going to be like, oh my God, this team should have been the number one. Why aren't they? Let's just be very, very clear here. This is a fun tournament. We are doing it. It's all subjective. It's all based on our thing. Like Kendall said, it's a rating system. We have it the best we can to make it as competitive as possible so that we are being able to use this and, make it fun. So just let's continue to do that. We want to have a good time with this. It's all in fun. You can get in at least, if you win on a certain month, on a certain day, we don't want you jumping in other ones unless we absolutely need somebody for a particular mock. There are going to be times that we're going to need some alternates and stuff like that, so still be available. But if you see this in your inbox, now this is from last year. I'm going to make it all nice and pretty for when we change it up for this year.
It is pretty, by the way. You're getting pretty good with the AVI tools.
Yeah, no, I'm getting better. This is what you will see in your inbox. So make sure you guys keep an eye out for your DM. I'm going to DM you guys on Sleeper so that
this is for folks that did a draft. If you hopped into a lobby, you did your draft, and you're waiting for the rankings to come out, that's how you'll know.
Oh, well, no, this is to get to Friday.
That's what I mean.
Yeah. So you'll get one of those to know that you're going to be in the Friday show. You're going to have to let us know if you're good or not. I'm going to ask you in that, particular message. Are you going to be able to make that? I want to make sure you guys are available for that. If you're not, I apologize. We can always put you as an alternate for another week if possible.
We're going to need a lot of alternates. Life happens to everybody. This is mocking every single day, essentially for a month. We're going to need lots of extras.
We're gonna make sure that that's the case, and we'll find a way to get you guys in one way or another, or we'll just throw you into another draft and hope you do well in that one, and you can move on. There are essentially 3 weeks of this, but there are going to be a bunch of scenarios that can get you in. You got plenty of chances to be a part of it, and then at the very last week, we're going to do our best ball draft right before the beginning of the season. It'll probably be our last show of the off season prior to us jumping into the first week of the year.
That is correct. Yeah. The last Friday night mock of the year is you legends battling the hell out with each other, sniping
in a nice best ball league.
And we're going to stream it and be kind of hammered, having a good time with it. Yeah. Spoiler alert, there is no way in hell I am not throwing on a full 3-piece for this, and I'm going to look good.
Nice.
We're gonna make some things happen. Mike, can you get that graphic back up though? Can we get some fire in the chat? One? Mike is getting kind of nice with some AI tools here, man. Tell me this isn't the dopest looking tournament graphic I've ever seen.
It took me forever to figure this out, so I'm very proud of myself.
That is fire. I'm hype. I'm so hyped to be to be ranking. How is rankings work? In case you guys want to know. There's really two main criteria. Like each of us in Get Right, we've got our own kind of micro set of rankings, but we all understand high level draft strategy, right? So some people look at different types of strategy a little bit different. So it's a conglomeration of all the things. So
I look at teams.
You can pander, like if you've listened to us enough, you can probably know what we like and dislike. So
that helps.
You're playing on our rankings. That's all I can say. You know what I mean?
And our rankings are posted on the website for any of those that want to look at it. They are updated when we update.
Mine will be there next week. I am finishing.
Okay. I was going to say, I know mine is.
Tuesday or Wednesday, mine will be there.
All right. Well, make sure you guys check out getrightff.com. It will be there for you guys. So make sure you guys are checking out our rankings as well. Check out the website. We're going to be doing more with that as time goes on. Also, make sure if you're not already in the Discord, you should be. Like I said, we're going to be posting it only there. I'm trying to get everybody out of that sleeper, the sleeper chat into the Discord if possible. So make sure you guys do that. Make sure you guys stay tuned for Kendall's After Dark. Don't worry, he will be on in like 2 seconds. We'd like to have like a quick conversation before he jumps into his new thing.
I'm gonna run to the bathroom and then run
that too.
Back
so it's one of those. We just take a quick break, but he will come back and make sure that you guys get a breakdown of your particular teams. I can't wait to hear mine. And then
break down yours. Well, I liked your draft this year.
So make sure you guys check it out. Make sure you guys keep those those notifications ready. We are going to be here every Friday night for the rest of the year. I won't be here next week. Kendall will be.
I will be. I've been here the whole time.
I have family life to take care of around here, so I need to make sure that I am available for that. And then, so make sure you guys are checking that out. Make sure you guys are around. We got so many great things going on. I really am excited for this season. Other than that, I hope everyone has a wonderful rest of their night. Hopefully a wonderful weekend. Thankfully out here in the Northeast, it's finally getting nicer out and less hot. So hopefully you're able to be out there and enjoy the wonderful weather and the just great times with family. So hope everyone has a great weekend. Kendall, always a pleasure, my friend.
Should we play some music?
Yes, sir. We'll see you guys later. Peace.
Wanted to white fantasy is the play. Marking nothing but